Our iSchool, Our Stories. Welcome to the podcast about the stories of the University of Texas at Austin School of Information, students, staff, and faculty.
Hi, I'm Amanda Guerrero. I go by she, her pronouns. I'm a second-year graduate student at the School of Information, concentrating in UX design and research. I'm currently serving as the graduate assistant for the Office of Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion, and I'm also a first-generation student, which plays a big part in my story. A little bit about how I got here to the iSchool and how I came to take an interest in UX. So, in undergrad, I studied neuroscience, thinking that I wanted to be a doctor. I chose neuroscience because I was very interested in human thinking and how people made decisions, and I wanted to be a doctor because I had a desire to help people. It made sense to me at the time. However, I became very overwhelmed by everything that was required to become a doctor, and I found that I wasn't very invested in it. I came to realize that it wasn't so much my personal desire to be a doctor that was driving this, because I felt like I had to live up to expectations placed upon me. So this all became a very difficult time for me to navigate. However, one of the things that I liked and enjoyed most in undergrad was being able to serve in leadership positions for two organizations that I'm very fond of, both focused on fostering a sense of community on campus through student programming. And it was at this time that I found a sense of belonging, something that I'd really struggled with in undergrad. So I found a lot of value in getting to share stories with other students and relate to people with similar backgrounds as me. All of this leads us to graduation. I felt pretty directionless because I didn't have a new clear goal to work towards now that I had left behind the pursuit of being a doctor. In this time, I had the opportunity to work for a nonprofit. I had a caseload of families that I met with every week. I would sit down with parents in their homes and we discussed their child's development. I would answer some of the families' questions and concerns, and we would refer them to local resources as needed. And I truly loved this work, what we got to do, and the work environment. This time at the nonprofit coincided with the pandemic, so in the middle of all of this chaos, I decided that this was the perfect opportunity for some personal reflection. So in speaking with people, I'll often say that it was a little bit by accident that I found out about this field of UX. At this point in the pandemic, I was yearning for a career with some sort of creative piece to it. I was often searching for creative outlets outside of work, and I wondered if there was some way that I could incorporate that into a career. I was also developing an interest in careers and technology, so it was really by accident that I stumbled upon UX when I was browsing the internet. And as I was reading up on it, it felt like everything I had ever wanted in a career. It had that design piece that I wanted. It incorporated human decision-making that I really loved from studying neuroscience, and it included that empathy building that I had practiced in working at the nonprofit. So it really felt like a perfect match for me. That's kind of how I got here to the iSchool. I saw that UT had a program. Being from Texas, I knew that UT is a great institution, so I applied, and now I'm here as a second-year student in the master's program, and I can very confidently say that I'm very happy with my decision. One of the things that I've liked the most about this program is getting to take classes from professors and instructors that work in industry. So that has been very valuable to me as I learn how to apply this knowledge. Most of these courses in the iSchool have helped build a great foundation in UX for me, especially since I'm very new to the industry. And the courses have also prompted me to start thinking about some of the deeper issues in this field and how we might address some important questions as our world becomes more digital, and the role that I might play in bringing about some of these solutions. So questions like, how do we make technology more accessible, more secure? How do we address misinformation? So to me, it's a really exciting space to be in. So as I look towards graduation and what I would like to do in the future, I'm really excited to get into the industry and start working. I think that this is a great space to be in, and there are some great opportunities ahead for me. In addition to working, something that I'm really excited by is the idea to get back to working in the community. So being first generation, I wasn't always aware of all of these career options available to me simply because I didn't have any connections or examples that I could refer to. So the difficult part for me was really just getting here because I didn't know that this space even existed. Because of that being my experience, something that I hope to do is to be able to serve as a guide and a mentor, something that I felt that I was missing growing up. For first-generation students, I think that sometimes we don't always have awareness of these careers and spaces in tech because we don't always see that around us, and this can kind of be very difficult for us to navigate. So I'd like to show careers in tech to younger students, talk to them about how I got here. Even if they're not necessarily interested in UX, I think that it can be very valuable to share out stories to younger students. Without really knowing it, a lot of these experiences up until now have really shaped me as an individual and have played a huge role in developing my sense of identity. And looking back, I now realize that all of these experiences were interconnected. And the iSchool has done a great job of steering me in the direction that I want to go in, and being a part of this DEI office has helped to bring back that element of community building that I've taken an interest in over the years. So yes, this is why I was drawn to the iSchool and the space, and I'm really excited for what's to come. Thank you for listening.
And that's it for this episode. Tune in next week for more.